everyone, and welcome to Obedient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope in Nigeria, especially in Lagos State, as is happening right now as we speak to you. As you can see, my face is just delighted because I know that some Lagosians are currently having a good time, not minding the hard time that is happening right now as the Lagos State government kickstarts a 25% discount on food items. So guys, wherever you are in Nigeria or in Lagos State, please, we'll be coming up shortly with all the locations and the list of all the locations that Lagos State government have earmarked and different days and marketplaces in different local governments where you can go and get food items on a 25% discount. That is happening right now. So we'll get you to the people who are able to verify that this is happening from testimonies of people who had actually benefited from this. So if you intend to buy food items in a discounted format, please, and you're in Lagos State, please, you are going to please follow also that you get them this update. With that very one, I say on a good morning, afternoon, and evening obedience and well-meaning Nigerians wherever you are, depending on your time zone. We don't come make we discuss what in they happen because seriously, it they happen. The senators we have, Senator Ndume has come out on a national TV to tell us that we don't have human beings in the Senate, that we have animals. In quote, he said, all animals are not equal. And he went ahead to specify that he got certain amount of money or millions that he is unable to explain. And again, that some people got more way higher than him. But very specific that all animals are not equal, referring to his colleagues in the House, in the Senate. So, it's not only that we are dealing with criminality in the distinguished that are in the Senate, but now we are meant to understand that they are equally animals and they are, some are bigger than others, as we will bring on this very show. And then we also bring to you this very thing coming up that Tinubu, Chief Bola Tinubu said he is not going to pay a dime to the terrorists, the people who are actually the bandits who are demanding to 1 billion naira. We're not talking about the one that asking for 40 trillion. No, that one happened on Monday. This one is just happening. 1 billion to release 280 something children, school children, and he's the Bola Tinubu administration has said they are not going to pay a dime. What is going to happen to these children? Follow us as we go into this discussion. And I'm not the only one to do this discussion. I have Divine in the house.
Warm welcome to our viewers worldwide. Thank you for joining us on today's episode.
As you are joining us, please do not hesitate to like, share, and make sure that all other obedience know that Obedient Family TV is live. So we will start with this issue of Lagos State before we come to the Senate brouhaha. So this Lagos State something divine, I'm actually excited because we've been discussing about protests happening in different parts of Nigeria because of the economic, and we see it, we'll be talking about happening in Lagos, in Kanu, in different places. But now we also owe the people the duty to tell them that at least in Lagos State, the government of Lagos State is doing something tangible that we have seen from the reports that are coming out from Lagos, especially bringing down food items to specific markets across, I think, about 25 local governments.
Well, this is actually a very welcome development, right? I'm resisting to the urge to actually shout Ahize Chukwu in my dad's voice because, I mean, everybody has been actually, contemplating or rather complaining about the issue of, hunger and food insecurity. And so it's just good to know that finally, at least we're getting to see some relief because the Lagos State government announced that they are going to be going on a discounted food price market, that they're going to be setting up temporary markets to sell food at prices that are, discounted, over 25% discounts, that are going to be recorded. And, for those of our viewers that are in Lagos, some of these markets that are going to be set up include, if you're in Agege LGA, local government, the number of markets that are going to be set up is
While we wait for them to get the pen and record or write down the marketplaces where this is happening, I wouldn't also fail to tell them about, because some people might be doubting. Somebody said a food item that is selling for 3,000 naira was sold at 1,000 something naira. That was it went very well. Let's take a look or a listen to what they said before we bring about the marketplaces that have been listed. Let's hear from the people who had gone to different markets and how they purchase things and how things are moving there. So let's take it from there before we come down. By now, you should pick up your pen as the van will come back again to give you the list of local government, the markets that have been earmarked by Lagos State government to deal with these food items. So while you go get your pen, let's hear from the people who have gone to different markets and what their experience was. Let's take a listen.
People always want to come back, buying food items and then getting some certain amount back for buying from the market. So I think it's an awesome experience, and the prices too are really good.
The aspect is trying. At least with what I've seen here, I'll be coming here to shop. At least they are relieving people from a lot of stress of going to the markets, and even financially they are helping us. I can see that a lot of things that are selling there, they are selling at a reduced price. That is good. That's Saolu is trying.
It's just once in a week, but I mean the market, you can see everywhere is filled up, and some of the things are even finished. Aside that, a lot of prices are actually good. They are on point, because before I came down here, I priced the watermelon, which was priced for 3,000, and I came here and I got it for 1,005. If I can get my tuber of yams of 1,715 here, it's awesome compared to what we have in the market price. So I want to urge Lagos State to take it bigger. This place cannot contain us, especially now that when we have festive period coming up, and the Christmas or Ramadan, there's things to expand, and we'll be happy to come again. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. The prices are awesome.
I think it's really commendable. That's what I want to say. I want to say thank you to them, but I also want to say we need more of this kind of initiatives.
Wow.
The third Saturday, yes. And I had the opportunity of enjoying the 25% discount last week, and even today we bought the vouchers for pepper and tomatoes, and then for yam, chicken and guinea fowl we've enjoyed.
The prices have been worth it. For example, I'm getting 2 crates of eggs for 5,100. I don't think we get a better deal than that in Lagos. So yes, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy. I don't regret coming here.
Well, everything was okay. The discount is sure. Lagos State, thank you so much.
Yeah, I just shop a lot and I'm still shopping. Like A1 when compared to other markets, definitely.
I'd say that for this environment, it's perfect for me. So yeah, and then the prices also, they are not so bad compared to what we see outside. Yeah.
Fantastic initiative. I think this is well thought out, well planned. I really love it, the fact that they've given a very organized space for Lagosians to shop and do it like comfort, not like the mashy money environment. So I think it's really nice. Kudos to Lagos State government.
Like, this is really good because it's less stressful to the normal markets. So we really appreciate it.
I want to thank Lagos State. All I can say is to thank.
So Divine, I don't think that's a doctored report. I don't think that this is something that they pushed together. I think this is from real people who actually benefited from these food items. I can see excitement in their faces.
Well, it's really exciting, to be honest, even though we should not actually be going through this hunger and starvation in the first place. But it is good to know that the Lagos state government actually listened to the cry of their citizens and tried to make it easier for them. So we hope other governors of different states actually, pay attention and actually follow these footsteps of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and actually, just open all those grains and all the reserves that the federal government claims to have. This is the right time for them to actually, open it and allow the citizens shop for really discounted prices. So this is a very, very welcome development, and major kudos to the government of Lagos State.
Yeah, and I think let's now give the where these markets are located.
Well, if you're in Lagos State and you're trying to have this same testimony and, shop at discounted prices, these are the places you should look out for. So just pay attention to your local government and the temporary markets that are going to be set up there. And so if you're around Agege, there are going to be two markets, two proposed locations, and the first location is Vetland Model College Agege, while the second location is Girls Grammar School Agege. The second local government is Ajeromi Felodun. So if you stay around Ajeromi Felodun local government, there's going to be two markets, and the proposed location is number 1 Alabiagba Primary School and Tolu Grammar School. If you stay around Alimosho, there are going to be 4 markets, I guess, because of the size of the local government. And the proposed locations are Local Government Grammar School Idimu, Meran Community Primary School Meron, and Igondo Community Grammar School Igondo, second Community Grammar School Iyanokpaja. If you stay around Amuwo Dolphin, there's going to be 2 temporary markets, and one of which the locations is Agboju Grammar School, Agboju, or Festac Junior College, and the list goes on and on. Badagry has 2, and the locations are Badagry Grammar School, Badagry, and Anglican Primary School, Iworo Ajido. The next one is Ekpe, and Ekpe has just 1 proposed market location, and it says St. Teresa's Roman Catholic Primary School, Awolowo Way, Okeoyimbo, Ekpe. There is Etiosa local government, and 3 markets are scheduled to be put up there, and the proposed locations are number 1 Ikota Primary School, Leke-Epe Expressway Ikota, St. George's Primary School, Falomo Ikoyi, and Victoria Island Junior Secondary School. If you stay around Igbejileki, we have just 1 market proposed, and it is Orimedu Junior and Senior Secondary School. The list goes on basically, and then it is displayed on the screen. So maybe you could take a screen munch and actually, figure out where your local government is, and then plan to attend, because we don't know how long this offer is going to last. But for as long as it lasts, we should make the most of it, and hopefully we get to see sustainable, plans of the government to make sure we don't go back to day one or square one. I
think the aspect I love about this is that the government probably is going to engage with the producers of these items to actually being able to subsidize the prices to 25%.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that is kudos to Lagos State for making this possible. And like we said, you can go through the scroll to see from different, I think they have 43 locations, 43 different locations in Lagos where this is happening at different local governments. So please, if you are in Lagos, there is hope. And that hope that we keep talking about has come. Not the final one you may expect, but at least the one that will reduce the tempo of the hunger at the moment. At least we have not heard how much a bag of rice is. And if you're watching us right now and you have gone into any of this market, go to comment section. Please tell us how much 50 kg bag of rice is going on for there. We also wish to see also what other commodities prices are going at that very place.
Well, I just actually want to point out the fact that we shouldn't be in this situation. Let's just be honest, because right now it's looking like we're just very excited about something that shouldn't have, an evil that shouldn't have existed in the first place. Yes, kudos to the Lagos State government for what they are doing and trying to, alleviate the suffering of the masses. But the truth of the matter is we're going to need more than just this situations like this, or rather conventions like this or gatherings like this, because even after shopping at discounted prices, if we don't have sustainable plans put in motion to actually, you know, tackle the issue of food insecurity, we're going to be back to square one. So yes, kudos to, you know, the Lagos state government for this initiative. At least for the meantime, we're able to, you know, shop at discounted prices. But please, we should not go back to, you know, lie on our OAS or rest on our OAS. We should go back to the drawing board and make sure we nip this issue of food insecurity and hunger in the bud, so we don't have to resort to, you know, buying things.
Well, the way it is going, and from what we are seeing in the Senate, we don't see that hunger just jumping out so soon. It's not going to happen that way. The hunger is already here, it's already with us, and we have not shown the pathway, at least. Tinubu and his executive have not shown us the pathway that where something is going to come from. So we are still going to depend on palliatives for now. That is what the grain they said that they are going to, is it 42 metric tons of a grain. Nobody have seen that walking around. You get that? But Tinubu is busy going to commission airport in Mina, and they said airport in his name. But we'll get to that. So kudos to Lagos state government for helping out their residents and their citizens. And we also encourage, like Divine said, all other states to help the poor masses. You guys have put them in this situation. They don't know anything about dollar going to 2,000. That is not their business. They don't know anything about many other things that has come into be. They are not the cause. They were actually not the ones who selected you where you are. Whether it is in Lagos or elsewhere, it is not the masses that voted for you. They know who they voted. But you sniped it and you ran with it. So please, do help them out at this, help us all out at this very time. We might not be pleading, but we are asking for it. With that very one being said, we are going to move to the next story we have on our list, which happens to be what Senator Ndume said. Senator Ndume said all animals are not equal, referring to his colleagues at the Senate. Make una no talk say na me don't carry propaganda or controversial comment come. This one na didn't talk am for interview na Ndume. Now he use him mouth talk say all animals are not equal. And the animals when they talk say they know they're equal. Now regarding them will be said in there for Senate. So in don't first of all call them where they for Senate say them be animals, so not me be the person will be say they call them. Make we hear as he take talk and before we go into the matter.
What they call Senate Budget Committee before. But now, the floor members entrusted that to the presiding officers. You understand? That's the difference. So most of the senators don't know what I get. And I will not tell you. Since I didn't tell my colleagues now.
You can tell us here.
No, are you better
some
than
of your
No, but my colleagues know that I got better than them, more than them.
But you get up, maybe you got up to 1 billion.
It doesn't matter to you now. I told you my colleagues know that I got more than the 200.
Maybe 500
and
million.
There's some,
yeah.
No, look, you can't just pull this from. I've told you the truth now. I got more than the floor senator. It's normal.
Because the senator from Cross River said that Jarigbe said every one of you are corporates. They are in, you are all in this, and you all got, and the disparity was there.
Yeah. It's disparity now. We are not all the same. All animals are equal, but some are more equal.
The question is...
Wait, now, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Divine, we have heard it. So, if I'm not mistaken, he's not referring to Nigerians when he's talking about this. He's referring to his colleagues at the Red Chamber. That is the senators. He's talking about all of them are not equal because he was very explicit. And talking about that, I will get to our own LP because yesterday I also said we should reach out to Ireti Kengibe of LP and also to reach out to Tony Nwoye of LP. I mentioned all that. And today we are able to reach Tony Nwoye for him to tell us how much that he also got from that. He also sent messages to us. But before we get into that, let's get to the discussion about Ndume. Somebody in the comment section on one of our platforms said they are distinguished criminals. But I think Ndume beg to differ to say that they are animals that are not equal.
Well, I think this conversation about animals not being equal was in reference to George Orwell's Animal Farm, where some animals were seen as bigger, or rather having better, better experiences than other animals. So that hence the reference of all animals not being equal. But that's besides the point. I think what he's just trying to say, or the picture is just trying to paint, is of a Senate or an assembly that there is prejudice, right? So we are all senators, all elected on the mandate of the people who sent us here, but somehow it is some people, for whatever criteria, because we don't know what criteria they're using to judge the ones that are more equal than the other, but apparently some people are getting more, more allocations to them. They are getting more money, and it's just sad to see, because even if you got more, it's just very, it shows a lot of impunity for you to actually come out on national TV to actually accept that, oh yes, it's normal, they gave us more, which is very, very unbecoming of a senator of the Federal Republic, even if you received more. And I'm not saying you should, it shouldn't even happen in the first place, but if for any reason you got more, why are you coming on national TV to tell us that you got more, especially since the constituencies that you're talking about, or the money that you got from these constituencies are not this this project. You're not telling us that, you know what, this money they gave us, or the more I got is because I'm executing more projects in my constituency. Nothing of that sort. You're just telling us blatantly that you got more without any form of project to actually back up your allocation.
The more they talk about this, the more I think that they are trying to divert the attention of Nigerians. Because first of all, talking about 500 million or 200 and something million they are talking about, is it money as in cash that was given to them? They are talking about constituent projects.
Right.
Do they own a constituent project? The senators and the House of Rep members are supposed to do an oversight function over these projects. These projects are to be executed by the federal government. They have ministries that are responsible to implementing this very project. They don't own it. But when I see it being discussed, it will look like, oh, this person is supposed to have 250 million, this person have 10 billion and the likes. No! This project is a project that is in the Appropriation Act, is in the budget, and it is not their own. Theirs is to say, oh, I make this happen. I make sure that something is brought to my constituent. You understand me?
Right.
And not that they own it. But now that we are discussing about, it looks like they're going to find the contractor who is going to do the work. By getting the contractor who is going to do the work, a job that will cost 100 million to do, they will tell the contractor they are going to give him 5 million, and they will now pocket the rest. That is the criminality that we are talking about there, and nobody is talking about that. So whether Senator Ndume has over 500 million or he has 1 billion that is going to his constituents, what we are to do as citizens is to monitor the project. Where is this project? Which contractors are doing it? Is it being executed by the contractors that are under their own limited liability companies? This is what Nigerians should be looking out for. They are taking us out from the hunger that is happening in the land, putting us on a conversation that should not be happening.
Well, you know what's interesting? You speak about accountability and them being held accountable for these projects. But the truth is, there is no scorecard for any Nigerian Senate. After the 8 years or 4 years, depending on how much time they spend in the Senate, there's nobody that calls them to say, you know what, sit down, let's take, cognizance of what you did during your time as a senator or as a member of this Red Assembly. So even if we notice that these, constituency projects and these, programs are not actually executed, who are we going to hold responsible? Because nobody actually, because usually in countries that actually work, if you are unable to actually do what you were elected for, you get tried. But here in Nigeria, even after all this accountability, because I don't think there's any Nigerian that doesn't know that majority of these senators do not work. But even if we know, what do we do with this knowledge?
There are people who are tracking this budget. Right. They call them budget. You understand? Okay. If you check and you Google budget, they even have checked some of this very budget, and they said that what Senator Ningi said, that very 3.7 trillion is truth. That what that man has said is truth. That what may not be truth is that the Senate or the executive is operating on two separate budgets. But that 3.7 trillion is not accounted for. They even outlined the fact that the budget of the judiciary that is there, that there's no line items. They just quoted how much is allocated to them. They also mentioned the one that is going to either the military, that it was not quoted, that there's no line item. Right. They quoted different places that they just allocate trillion into without giving a line item, and that they were very clear that Senator Ningi is right. And let me also say something very clear to our people. This has been happening from since we started this recent republic. If we look at the fact that in 1999 somebody whistled in that red chambers, the person was suspended. Nothing happened. Nobody protested for that person. After the person has served the time that they are giving him, he came back there and shut their mouth. If this thing continue to go on, that you have a whistleblower and there is no forceful impact on that, it will keep happening, and they will be silencing whoever wishes to come out and say the truth. Who said that Senator Ningi did not speak the truth? Tell me. Yesterday we brought about 20.5 billion that the Senate president made sure was allocated to his state. Let's see how many that state is going to benefit from, because we know all those things will go into parking. They will now do what? They will use all that money, buy into dollar, push us more into hardship, and wait for election time. That is what is happening. So if people keep blowing whistles, something is happening from the populace, the people that send them to a chamber, then it means that more of that will happen. That is all I have to say about this. But let's also understand that I started with the fact that we are being taken away from what is happening in Nigeria, insecurity and what? Hunger that is in the land. Let me hold that there about this House Senate. We'll come back when we see some other thing, but know that Ndume has made it clear to everybody that the Senate is the people he call the animals, that they are not equal. So animals should not be getting the same thing. And that is what he has labeled his colleagues to be. If you think they are not, or you want to use another name that another person used on our different platform, he called them distinguished criminals. So either you want to call them distinguished non-equal animals, or you use the other way. Whichever way, go to comment section, tell us how you feel about this, if it's not a diversion from the real fact of insecurity. And then talking about security, let's get to what is happening now. There was a meeting yesterday, and that very meeting, Divine, was about Tinubu and his and the security operatives. When they come out, they announced that Chief Bola Tinubu said he is not going to pay a dime, because as at yesterday or this morning, the bandits were requesting to be paid about 1 billion naira, a whole 1 billion. And as we can say, he said, I won't pay a dime, as deported by People's Guidance also, to rescue these two children. So this thing is, should this be coming out to the public? You understand? Right. I thought that this is something they call an intel. You understand? Because when you make this kind of pronouncement and it goes public, it means that even the bandits themselves will start hurting the people that they are holding.
Right. Well, we can tell that this, like we said, there's a lot of, I feel like the APC-led government, they don't know when to share the information that they have and when to keep quiet. When it's unnecessary, that's when we see them, when we need them to speak about the pressing issues that are plaguing the average Nigerian, they just keep mute. Because tell me why the government of a country that is plagued by banditry and insecurity will come out to say, you know what, he's not paying a dime. Even if you decide, or within you and your inner caucus, within your meeting and all of that, you said that, oh, we're not paying a dime, you should not come out to say that. It should be something, you know, in the mind of the security operatives as they go to go and rescue these children. But coming out to say that, because the funny thing is, they didn't just say that, they gave an ultimatum. They said 20 days from the day of the kidnap, and this kidnap happened on March 7th. Today is the 14th day of March, so we're already 1 week gone. So we're talking about an average of 13 days, approximately 2 weeks for this ultimatum to elapse. And they said if they are not giving this money within these 20 days, that they are going to start hurting the victims and killing them. So even if for whatever reason you've decided, you and your administration, that you don't want to pay them and all of that, the point is, what Nigerians expect from you is that you get the kidnapped children safely back to their residences and make sure that you boost up security in that area so it doesn't reoccur again. But this is just, you know, bravado in emptiness, just coming out to say, I won't pay a dime. But these are the life of children who are under 15 years, below 15 years. These are the supposed leaders of tomorrow. And it is not necessary that you come out to say that. We just want action. We don't want to see all these tabloid discussions of what you said you would do and what you said you won't do. We're just trying to see the rescue. Oh, want to hear that, oh, in the wee hours of this morning or yesterday morning, these children, these over 280 children were returned back to their residence. And then we're going to, you know, sing hallelujah in your name if actually necessary, that, oh, okay, finally we've gotten these children. But to come out and just make these very, you know, bogus claims that you're not paying,
the pronouncement
is very unnecessary.
The pronouncement is what we are looking at, those things. So coming out to the public to state that payment is not going to make is not what is needed at this point. What is needed at this very point is to tell us that the government is handling this and they are already discussing, because for a bandit to have called, they use their telephone. It means that they know their location. They should. If not, it means that MTN or Airtel or all the discos are not, I mean, all the telco companies are not working well. You understand? Right. Because they should be able to know where those calls and track them in the bush. Talking about 280 something school children. This is not a joke, please. Right. It's not a joke. And instead of us dealing with this very issue, we have Chief Bola Tinubu going to commission airport in Minna because they named the airport, they changed the name to Tinubu, as if he leave office, they are not going to give it to another person's name. Come on now, we should be very sensitive to major issues that are happening in Nigeria. Why should we be talking about going to rename an airport becomes a priority? Why should it be? I mean, you could send somebody else and concentrate. The people that we are taking from Kaduna, that we are taking from IDPs, that we are taking, and we have 40 trillion that is above our budget that is being demanded by these bandits.
I have a theory here. I think this renaming of the airport in Minna to Tinubu, or rather in favor of Tinubu or in honor of Tinubu, is a wild theory, but I think maybe it's the governor's attempt at actually, you know, assuaging President Bola Tinubu or Chief Bola Tinubu after he called Peter Obi his boss, because this is probably him saying, you know what, I realize who my boss is now and I'm going to, you know, name an airport in my state after you. So wild silly thing is very plausible because we know how they play this politics. And so maybe shortly after calling Peter Obi his boss, and maybe he actually triggered a reaction from the ruling party and said, you know what, in order to actually right my wrongs and be in this man's good book, let me, you know, name this airport after him. And so
well, possible. I think even if that is the that is for the governor of Niger State to deal with, but I understand the Niger State government has an understanding with Lagos State, and they are working on reduction of food prices. You know, they're having an MOU that helps them to pump food items to Lagos, because Lagos is actually a very big city. So So that theory might also be it, trying to look for whatever he's looking for in Tinubu. But what we are just saying is that at this very time, Tinubu should not be going about commissioning or renaming airport that is not just built today, that have been built over the years, just to rename it, and we leave our priorities. Our priorities that we should be addressing every day is about hunger and the security in the land. That is what we should be addressing, not going that. And even the international communities are listening, they are watching us. The people that we are talking about, the investors that are to come, they are there watching us, and they are spreading it in their news lines. Let's take a listing from this international media platform, whether it's India or somewhere, but they are discussing all about how Tinubu is not concentrating on priorities, but looking at the other options that are not his priorities. Let's take a listing.
Stories from Nigeria. Last week, we told you about a kidnapping. Almost 300 students were taken from their school during morning assembly. This was last Thursday. The children still haven't been found, and no group has taken responsibility yet, but the kidnappers are expected to demand a large ransom for their release. Now, if this was happening on your watch, what would you do? Send out the army? Go meet the families of the victims? Set up base in the affected town until the children are found? All good options. But Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has different ideas. He did fly out yesterday, but he landed about 150 kilometers south of the affected village. He went to a different state. Why? To inaugurate an airport that has been renamed after him. So amid a spree of kidnappings, Nigeria's president chooses to inaugurate the Bola Tinubu Airport. A crisis is unfolding under his nose, but Tinubu is busy cutting ribbons, which begs the question, how tone-deaf can you be? How can you ignore the plight of your citizens? These are some families from Kuriga, the village where the children were kidnapped.
We plead with the government to help us. Security in this community, no police outpost, no military presence, and no local vigilante. We are responsible for our own security, so anytime they want, they will invade the community and do whatever they feel like doing.
We don't know what to do, but we believe in God. We don't have security, no soldiers, no police to protect the school.
This problem we are facing, we are crying, looking for help from the government and God. But it is the gunmen that will decide to bring the children back.
They say they haven't received any help from the government. They're at the mercy of the bandits, and they're anxiously waiting to get their children back. In this situation, inaugurating an airport seems absurd. Now, the Nigerian government will say that they are on top of things. They have reported deployed the army. They're apparently working with the Air Force and local vigilante groups as well. But so far, there have been no updates on the whereabouts of the children. Meanwhile, there have been more kidnappings. On Saturday, 15 more school children were taken, this time in the country's far north. In another case, kidnappers have come out with their ransom demand. This is for 16 people who were kidnapped on the 28th of February. The kidnappers allegedly want 14 trillion naira. That's about 25 billion US dollars. Of course, that's a ridiculous amount, but it shows the impunity of the kidnappers. They've been getting bolder over the last few months. Since Tinubu came to power last May, an estimated 4,500 people have been kidnapped across the country. This is according to a consultancy based in Lagos in southern Nigeria. 4,500 kidnappings in the last 9 months on Tinubu's watch. It adds to his growing list of scandals. He's appointed his son-in-law to a high government post. His economic policies have caused the naira to crash. Have been suffering with rising inflation, and now kidnappings are rampant again. Amid all this chaos, Tinubu chooses to put his name on an airport. It shows his misplaced priorities and utter lack of tact.
So the question is, if you have this spate of hunger and then this insecurity happening in your place, what will you do? Will you go and cut the ribbon? Go to comment section, and we have other things that we need to discuss, but as always, our time is limited. As we plan to leave the studio now to come back again later, I want to remind you to go to the description of this video to see the link that will take you to the Obedient Family Cooperative Society. And we are setting up a meeting for Saturday by 7 p.m. which we are going to post the details. And that very meeting is going to be on a Zoom meeting. So a Zoom meeting for all people who have gone into the community WhatsApp platform, so where we will have a discussion on the Obedient Family Cooperative Society. And like I always say, this very cooperative society is where we come together to help the less privileged as per food items monthly. And again, support the people who are into agro production, agriculture. Whether you are into fish farming or you are into rice processing or cash crops, the cooperative will support you to deal with those things so that you can produce more by the prescription of our own P2B's Excellency, who said we need to move from consumption to production. So when we produce, we will now make sure we have food sufficiency within us to survive till when we plan to take back the new Nigeria that we know is possible. So please, if you are just watching us, copy that link, send it to other platforms and tell them to come join the Obedient Cooperative Society for a better new Nigeria that we're moving towards. Thank you very much. Until we come your way again, bye for now.